Want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you for giving us your time this evening. Mr. Marty Hager has been so gracious to host this for the second year. This guy, I think, needs no introduction, but Cedar Rapids City Councilman, local business owner. Can I call you a friend? Sure. Definitely a mentor. And only for today. Hey. So thank you, Marty, once again for having us.
Thanks, Chad. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's an honor for us to host this event. I was up here as a panel person a year ago, just basically getting ready to move into this facility. And I can tell you that we couldn't be happier being out here in Hiawatha. This facility has just done wonders for our business. The location's great, and I will tell you, our delivery drivers love us now that Tower Terrace is open. So thank you all for coming, and I'll turn it over to these guys, but everything you see out here on the floor is for sale. So schedule an appointment with me or your salespeople tomorrow, and we'll get you set up. Thank you.
All right. Let's get this thing started. I guess the first thing that we need to talk about is how Hiawatha is doing, and as far as all you people are big components to the success of Hiawatha right now. And we appreciate what you do for us. It's a daily thing that you guys do for us. And another thing I want to thank is the Hiawatha team. We got a good team with the council and our staff. And we continue to thrive to make Hiawatha safer and a happier place to enjoy your stay here. And I guess the first thing I want to talk about, in 23 we added $80 million of valuation to our construction, and that's huge. And we have never done this before, and that's for up to date for. Well, actually, that goes along with the new construction with housing and I guess that's from. I want to back up because that's actually currently in 23 we've added $80 million. From up to August we did $13 million this year for 23, and so that's just been. It's hard on our departments because of the growth. It's a little bit of a growing pain, but it's a good thing for Hiawatha, and we're happy that we can say that. Hiawatha celebrated 8 new businesses, ribbon cuttings, since the last State of the City, and so we know that there's been others that have opened that we didn't make it to, but. We talked to them, and they're successful. Since derecho, the areas that got damaged, we've took another look at them, and $400,000 in derecho recovery and grants were added, and generators and other stuff to the facilities to make them better, our parks and our wells and that kind of thing. Hiawatha's Village Center won the 2023 CBJ Commercial Real Estate Design Award for Best Corridor Landscaping Projects. That's huge. I mean, we've enjoyed that down there. We've had some groups out there singing, and we've had the Food Truck Fridays that were a big success. And that's just a nice place to congregate, and a lot of the trail people use that as a place to stop and rest and enjoy the atmosphere down there. Okay, moving on. In June of 23, long-awaited Tower Terrace interchange. I mean, a lot of you people have talked about Tower Terrace. My mom was on the council in the late 70s, early 80s, and that was supposed to be on the 5-year plan then. And we finally opened that in June, and that's going to be a huge success. We're knowing that it's going to expand out there. We've already seen the expand in businesses and attractions that are going to come to that area, but it's going to further excite the businesses that are already there because they thought that that was maybe going to come a little sooner than that. But it took a while, and we're excited about that. In August 23, groundbreaking for the fire station number 2. Another thing that's been talked about for a long time. We finally come up with a plan, and we use the real estate that we already had, which gets us on the east side of the tracks, which gives us more, it'll give us a better response time to the northern territory as it continues to grow. Obviously, we're clear on the other side of County Home now, and we continue to build, and so this fire station will help the safety of that area. This is a great example of, oh, I'm sorry, I got off track here. Let's see. Again, the year we are celebrating 4 businesses that were recognized in CBJ fastest growing companies in the corridor. And that is BLX Inc. and Q4 Real Estate and Hometown Restyling, and then DAD Manufacturing. And my hat's off to those guys. They're doing a great job, and they continue to build. Here's what we see for the next year. 12th Avenue Roundabout. They're over there by Mercy and Cedar Rapids Toyota and Jungie. Be a big roundabout. We obviously had some concerns, but they looked at the one that we did on the corner of Tower Terrace and Center Point, and they seemed to like it, so I think that'll be a good roadway for everybody to use. Brothers Ferry Road, I-380 bridge reconstruction. We're gonna start the process of that. We're excited about that. The other thing is the removal and replacement of the Boyson Road I-380 bridge. That project is fastly coming up on us, and we're excited about that. We knew that that was going to be a concern because as we were talking about the Tower Terrace interchange, we also circled around about the Boyson because they want to eventually bring the 3 lanes out to County Home Road. So that with the traffic load that's experiencing, it's way above the projected numbers. Multifamily housing units, they're completed and we're leasing. We've, I think the numbers are, we did about 80 units this year already, and a lot more coming up. I'm sure that if anybody's drove down Boyson Road, we see the project that's going on in the old property there at 100 Boyson. We had a very good year, and next year looks to be even more successful, and I think that we'll be even busier than we are this year. Our group has looked at our levy again. I feel that a lot of our success is because we've looked at that levy and we've actually reduced it. Now, I apologize for the county coming right back in and raising your valuations, but we've all experienced that. But for us to be conscientious and to continue to look at that levy, and I don't know what the exact amount we're going to lower it, but we do project that we're going to lower that levy again. Obviously, everything's shifted to residential right now. We don't have a lot of commercial going on, and we're not losing focus of commercial. We've done some things to try to accelerate we need restaurants. We need the things for people to do in Hiawatha. You know, the businesses, the boutiques, that kind of thing. And we've actually reached out to outsource, and they're working on coming up with some ideas on how we obtain that type of project. Robbins Road, we're also looking at redeveloping Robbins Road connection and completing to Tower Terrace. Robbins Road, the infrastructure underneath it is really old. It's one of our oldest streets, and we've got that to do. We've done some on Northwood, and we're going to circle back and get on Robbins Road, and we're kind of looking at that'll eventually have a different look, kind of to mimic what we did on North Center Point Road, and so we're excited about that. The development around the interchanges, you've seen what's happened in the last 5 years, and we see businesses and stuff going around these as we do these new interchanges. It fulfills, and we got a lot of things going on with the Tower Terrace property that we're looking forward to, and it's all exciting. I mean, Hiawatha is as far as I'm concerned, is growing at a rate that could be a little scary, but we seem to be keeping up, and I think Hiawatha's seen some really good times. When I got elected, I got handed a situation that was really good, and we've continued to build on it, and I see Hiawatha doing great things in the future.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Mayor. Before we get going, I want to say one thing and introduce one individual because she's got to leave early, but this might be my last meeting, so Emily Kaiser, could you please stand? This has been my co-chair, and between her and Carrie, they've carried me and nurtured me through this year, but she will be your chair next year. So I wanted to introduce her to the group and welcome. She'll do a much better job than the mayor and I have tried. All right, I'm not going to introduce all the panelists here. I think you all have the flyer here, and we're going to get right into it and respect your time. I'm going to head right on over to Mr. Agam. How are things improving from a supply and demand standpoint over the last few years, and are they starting to improve?
Our biggest, we're a printer, we're a commercial printer. We use a lot of different kinds of materials. So during the period of COVID, and the year or so after that, we had some serious issues getting material. So for us, we were fortunate enough that we had established relationships with our suppliers, and we were able to get onto some programs where we couldn't even buy domestically. We actually had to buy from mills overseas in Finland and Germany and ship it over in truckloads. Well, a lot of the printers in the United States, because they had such trouble. I mean, there's no revenue if we can't get material. So a lot of printers bought and overbought material, paper in particular, and stored it even off-site, so they would have paper for their customers. So now what we're seeing what the paper mills said we wouldn't see. We're seeing a glut of material, paper in particular, and the price is starting to come down. So a lot of us are stuck with paper that's more expensive than what we can buy now. We were smarter about it than some, but we still, have more paper than we need, and unless we get an influx of larger projects, we may have that for another 6 months or so. But other than that, that's kind of a minor thing right now. We're getting through it. We do talk to our competitors on a regular basis. There are a couple of peer groups that we belong to, where we're sharing our issues and how to work through it. But fortunately for us, we were able to take care of our customers at the times we needed to, and that really helped us. So I would say now there's a large, it's really improved. Supply chain is really improved, and there aren't a lot of things that we can't get now that we need. We're able to get it shipped in.
Doc, what optimism or opportunities do you see in the next 12 to 24 months for your industry, and what are you concerned with and keeping an eye on?
Yeah, we've grown every year, and I think we've knocked it out of the park as far as, we've exceeded expectations of the organization, how fast we've grown, and it's probably become a little bit of a problem. So this last Sunday, we saw a record number of patients. We saw 91 patients, and we have 14 rooms there. In downtown, we only saw 111 with 37 beds. So, out here we put out a really good product. We get patients in quick and get them what they want and what they need quickly, and we're able to do that better than anyone else in town in our other location as well. So that's probably, I'm optimistic we'll continue to grow. I think people have trouble getting access to get the care they need, and that's not going to be solved anytime soon. The population continues to age. They're sicker. They need more care. Access to primary care and urgent care is more and more difficult, and I don't think anyone's going to solve that problem in the near future. So I think our services are going to continue to be needed in the future, and our biggest challenge is dealing with how fast we've grown. I still want to put out the product, get people in, get them quick, get what they need. We're starting to run into some days where we get saturated and people are waiting longer than I like. Staffing is another challenge. I think all of you probably deal with that as well in your industries, but yeah, it's just tough to get really well-trained staff. So that will continue to be a challenge. I think in the next year, you've probably all heard that St. Luke's and Mercy are opening another freestanding ER in Marion. So you may see a drop in our numbers initially, but I think that will go right back up. Right now, we get people from all over Cedar Rapids, Marion, Robbins, Center Point. They all come here. Once the word got out that they can get here and get in quickly, they like the rooms. They like they don't have to wait and I've heard that from several people here prior to this tonight. They're like, yeah, we don't have to sit down in your waiting room downtown around, I won't go into what they said about that, but and that we're trying to address as well. But yeah, so I think, dealing with the growth is probably the biggest challenge we'll have in the next couple of years. And we're looking at adding additional CT scanner. Our flow is really dependent upon how fast lab and imaging can help serve us. So from a physician and nurse practitioner and PA standpoint, we have plenty of bodies there, so plenty of capacity. But yeah, we're excited. We love it. We hear a lot of great feedback from the patients out there. A lot of the docs in Cedar Rapids send all their patients out here from all over Cedar Rapids. So they bypass both downtown ERs. So
I was there last week, so I know what they're saying. Dang it, I wish I would have thought about coming up here.
Alrighty. Yeah, and Marion's not easy to get to. So when those two open, I still think the access here is huge to get to this. So.
All right, I don't care who takes this one on, but maybe a couple of you. For the employers who are successfully navigating the workforce shortage, what strategies have you seen and implemented that are successful?
I can jump into that one. Carla Andorf with Kirkwood. So really not a silver bullet. I wish there was something that would just be able to solve that solution. So it's really employers are doing multiple things. We see a lot of companies who are, or we see companies having success who are really taking advantage of getting out there in any job fairs, any hiring events. I have both a foot in the world at Kirkwood, and we are very closely partnered and have staff at the Iowa Works offices, and we have weekly job events out there. Job fairs. We are doing job fairs at community partners where we're linking in with different community groups in the area. Doing a lot of specialty ones as well with certain population groups or for certain industries. So definitely recommend people get connected with that group. And then looking at hiring just some of the maybe non-traditional groups or groups that you haven't hired or employed in the past. We have, and I can talk about it now or later more, but we do a lot of earn and learn projects where we can help to set up customized training for your industry, your company, to help bring in individuals who are still learning English. They maybe have some English, but they don't have all the English skills that they need to be successful, to be safe on the job. And we can come in and work with you to set up a 5 to 10 week training program where you'll bring them right on site. We can offer it right there at your company. It's part of their workday. We have really good success with that. Like 90 to 95% of our students are able to have the skills that they need at the end of it to be able to move forward successfully. So, apprenticeships, we're really encouraging people to look at apprenticeships. And then of course, I know this doesn't work for all industries, like especially within healthcare, but any industry, we see a lot of industries having some success with keeping and retaining, if they can do anything with flexibility, more flexible work schedules, if there's a hybrid option. So I know it doesn't work with everybody, but if that's something that you can incorporate in, we see success there too. So.
I know you employ and have
Well,
issues. I've heard
Yeah,
them.
really, we've been fortunate the last, probably this year, starting this year. It was really difficult for a long time. And the problem with us is that we have our workforce is so diverse. So we can be flexible with some employees, we can't with others. For example, IT. Two of our IT people work remotely. But IT people I'm not going to offend anybody in here that might be IT, they're a little unstable when it comes to how long they'll stay with you. I mean, they like to move around. My son-in-law's an IT guy, he's a programmer, and he likes to move around. So we have had some success with that, but we've also had some failures. Probably the more difficult person to hire is somebody that really has a sales acumen, that can go out and be in front of customers and have the level of personality that you need to have and gain that trust and relationship with our customers. Those people are hard to find. In fact, our tenured salespeople are the most successful because over the years they've been able to build those relationships. So we've turned a lot to inside sales, more of a salary-based plus commission type compensation, and that seems to be attractive. We see a lot of our competitors doing the same thing. A lot of printers in our industry. So, we're always looking for somebody that can help kind of move the needle a little bit. What we've done, and we're working on now, and we've done a lot of work here on this, and we're probably further ahead than a lot of our other printers and competitors, is that we're doing a lot of automation. So you can go to our website, you can order product online. We have a couple of B2C sites where we have a site called mightyposters.com that's been very successful. We're moving it to mightyfolders.com and postcards and so on. And that seems to be, what that allows us to do is if we can implement that automation, then it allows us to come down to a little bit lower price point. And it's good for everybody. So it doesn't require as many touches. It's all automated. You pay up front with a credit card and gets shipped directly to the location you want it shipped to. So that is really helping us, and we're looking forward to seeing that kind of jumpstart our business as well.
I went to a seminar that Murphy McGrath put on a couple of years ago over at the Lucky Penny, and it was interesting to hear them talk about the salesmen and the people that they employ. They're over 1,000 employees now, and with that being said, just listening to how they changed their motto of they want the people to take their time off. They want to get them to be more solid in the community so they can continue to lock in with the people that they hire, and it's just a different mindset than back when I was in business, and the kids that I hired had to have the passion, because sometimes the pay wasn't where they could, if they were talented, they could obviously make more money at a different situation than a motorsport store. Yeah.
Anyone else want to add anything?
I'm city attorney for Hiawatha. I've lived in Hiawatha since 2004 and had the honor of being associated with the city attorney or the city attorney's office since 2003. So, our business is a little different. We don't sell a widget. We sell time and advice. And so one of the things that we've had to do is be flexible with our employees as far as working hybrid, remotely. We have shorter hours during the week. Some law firms have started to close at 3 p.m. 20 years ago, if people would have said that, they'd have said, no way that's ever happening. And our practice is a little different. We're a civil defense firm. We don't have people coming in to sign wills and documents like that. But I think having that flexibility with your staff, figuring out a way to keep your talented staff, that's the key, because as we all know as business owners, it's incredibly expensive to hire new people, train them, get them up to speed. You're better off figuring out a way to keep that talented person on staff. It's a lot cheaper than it is to try to replace them. So I think COVID sort of accelerated all of that. I think we're going to get there anyway. But I think the hybrid model is probably here to stay with a lot of businesses. And, you know, to your point, not everybody can work remotely. My legal assistant, that's hard to do, but I can work remotely. A paralegal might be able to work remotely. Even our folks in the controller's office can work remotely too. So, but it's a changing environment, and I think if you don't change with it, you're going to be left behind because your competitors are already making the changes.
I'd say one more thing too, as far as remotely. Some of our employees don't want to. They don't want to work remotely because there's a social atmosphere. If you are a good leader, if you provide provide for your employees and treat them as family and team members, then they want to come to work. They want to socialize, and you have to give them that time. There was a time when my dad was there, he saw anybody talking, he would jump all over them. You can't do that anymore. It's just not the way it is. They need to have their time. They need to be part of that family, and be able, and not be afraid to go to any manager's office and be able to, no inhibitions, just go and talk to them if there are any issues, and you treat them with respect, as you would treat not just your customers with respect, but also your vendors with respect. So I think that environment has really helped us, and I know it's helped others. There's some companies that have cafes, and they have, look at GoDaddy. If you go in their building, it's amazing some of the things that they have. So you can only do so much with. It depends on your, how successful your business is and your vision. But I think those are the kind of things that we all have to do, along with a hybrid type of situation where they can. They can work a 4-day week, or they can work 1 day at home, or whatever. Seems to work.
All righty. All right, again, for everyone, if our community could do one thing to help you grow, what would it be? Carla?
Sure. I think just really helping to, our goal at Kirkwood is if we want to help you grow, right? Like we're really interconnected. Our students are your current or future workforce. So I think just being an advocate and supportive of and participating in Kirkwood events and activities. We're looking for people to be part of advisory committees and sector board work, and helping to guide us in what exactly it is that you need or want in your trainings or in your workers, so that we can adjust our training to be meeting your needs and making sure we're turning out people that are going to be a fit for what you're doing. That would be one thing, and being part of the workplace learning connection, helping us to have employers to connect in these K-12 students who want to know and learn more. We want to be able to keep them here. 83% of our credit students stay in the area, and 90% stay in Iowa. So we want to increase that, So I think more connection in with local employers. Maybe we can edge that up a little more so that we can help keep those students right here in our area. We do a lot of, Kirkwood has hundreds of thousands of dollars that we have, besides federal financial aid, that we are able to invest in individuals for training, really quick short-term certificates, helping individuals who might have barriers to complete short-term credentials or 2-year degrees, and having businesses involved in that. We love to partner to help us promote those classes and those things that are happening, to be part of interviewing students when there's maybe 3 to 4 weeks of class left. So how can we get them right in with you and interviewed, and you can get that offer out, and then they're graduating from that certificate or program in a week. So those are all things that we would look for so that we can really be supportive and help all of you hopefully build and fill positions.
Anyone else want to chime in?
Don't block our access when you repair these bridges.
Yeah, Mayor.
I would just say that I moved to Hiawatha for, we had our choice of Cedar Rapids or Hiawatha. And I would just say, keep being Hiawatha. Keep doing what you're doing. So far, so good. We love the relationship with the city and the mayor and the city council.
Obviously, I am excited about Hiawatha, but I'm also excited about the region, because the region is expanding, and we have good relationships. The mayors do, and we're leading an initiative to continue to try to figure out what gives citizens' quality of life in our area. And I have a daughter that moved, went to Kansas City for college and stayed in Kansas City and then moved to Chicago, and the big city atmosphere kind of excited her. Well, she's back in Iowa now, and hopefully here to stay. But the quality of life issues are our initiative that we're pressing to try to get even things better. So,
Carla, you may have already hit on most of this, but at a high level, can you talk about how Kirkwood helps their employers with apprenticeships, and if someone is interested, what can they do?
Yes.
To get involved?
So, this one I had to have something written down. Yes, to remember. So we have a full-time person that can support and help with apprenticeships. So we have an individual that can, come out, meet with your company, learn more about the positions that you're looking for that might be that you're maybe having trouble to fill or having trouble finding the qualified people to fill those, and then work with you to figure out how we can help set that up. Kirkwood can be the provider of that training, or we can work with you to help figure out where the training provider, or how you might find that training. We currently have 7 that we do, and I'm going to read those off because I knew I would not remember those. So construction technologist, diesel mechanic, electromechanical tech, HVAC installer, repairer, truck driver, nurse aide, and medical assisting are all ones that we have apprenticeships set up for, ready to go. But we can definitely set up more. There's thousands out there with the Department of Labor, and we help take that barrier off. So I know it can seem daunting and overwhelming, and there are some bureaucratic hoops to jump through, but we have people that are experts on that and know how to get it done and can help you walk through that. So that would be just definitely encourage folks and that helps, that with that first question of filling workforce needs. This is a way to do it. We find those individuals that go through apprenticeship are dedicated to that company. They feel like, you've invested in them because it's an investment in them. So they feel very committed to your company, which is a nice side effect of that. So I'm going to, if anybody's interested, I have a phone number and an email I can read off. I don't know, but apprenticeships with an S, apprenticeships@kirkwood.edu. So if you're interested or want to learn more, just email that and we'll get in touch with you.
Mr. Mark, HEDCO's mission is to cultivate economic growth in the city by building partnerships with local public and private organizations. What are some opportunities you see in the near future?
Well, thanks, Chad, for that question. As city attorney, I was hoping to get a legal question, like how do we do condemnation? How do we enforce traffic code? How do we buy and sell real estate for the city? How do we amend the code? Those kinds of things. But instead, I get an economic development question. I'm going to change it slightly, and we're going to participate with the audience here a little bit. Never give a lawyer an opportunity to talk because we'll be here all night.
Well, you bill by the second.
That's right. Exactly. That's something that's changed. We no longer bill by the minute. We bill by the second.
I know.
Yeah. So just to ask the general audience, what do you think is the biggest public project that's helped Hiawatha in the last 30 years? And it starts with an I and ends with a 380. Okay? That, hands down, is the biggest driver of development in this community. Without I-380, I don't think we're here today. Not like we are at this capacity. 380 was a giant game changer for the community. So you have public investments, you have private investments. Sometimes they cross or can cross, but you take people like John, you take people like Marty, they're entrepreneurs. They buy land, they build buildings, and they want a return on their investment, or their shareholders do, or both. And that's the private part. But the city can assist with that, something called TIF, tax increment financing, which is probably one of the greatest development tools that cities have in their toolbox. And it's critical to have that opportunity. Hiawatha has taken advantage of it. Hiawatha probably can't compete with Cedar Rapids on some of the TIF projects that Cedar Rapids is able to do. But Hiawatha is steady, fair, reasonable, and steady, and responsible. So I think TIF is a great thing. You look at some of the public-private projects that have worked together. One that comes to mind for me is the Dave Wright family dog park. So Dave Wright had land. The city had some land. We swapped it. And then they made a generous donation to develop the dog park. What a great opportunity to combine both public and private dollars to benefit the community. And it's not just Hiawatha. There's people all over the community that come and use that dog park. Unfortunately, the derecho took it out. I think it's been redone. I want to give Kelly a shout out as our parks director for all of that as well. You know, I want to jump back a little bit, Chad, and talk about, you know, what does Hiawatha do for both folks that live here, but also our business community. If you've had to deal with anyone at Hiawatha, at the city hall, you will learn very quickly that you have a friend in that building. I don't care if it's community development, parks, city clerk's office, everyone is always ready, willing, and able to help you. And the community development department, for example, they have tried to streamline the code process, the building permit process. A lot of it, Pat, you're here somewhere, I think can be done online now to make it easier. Wrong, Pat.
I see you, Pat. Get out there.
But I think they're always trying to be innovative and to make it easier. In other words, don't be a roadblock, but be a facilitator. And then I want to talk about a smaller private public development that we just got online, Mayor, a few weeks ago, which is the Dolly Parton Library Imagination. This is where everybody knows who Dolly Parton is. I had no idea about this project until Dick Olson, who just retired from the council, got this going. And it's to provide books for kids 5 and under, free. All you gotta do is sign up. And that alone may have the biggest economic and societal benefit to our community than anything else we've ever talked about. Because when you get kids that can read and be literate young, they're going to go on and be our future leaders. And they're going to be a lot smarter than certainly me.
You wanted to say me.
And Chad, yeah. But I think that's kind of on a small scale, but I think the dividends are going to be huge. So, you know, I think the private-public projects together are things that are going to continue to go. But, you know, the cities, they do the streets, they do the parks, those things. They put in the infrastructure, and then the developers can come in and build the houses and build the buildings. So all the work that I've done with the businesses in town on behalf of the city, it goes pretty smoothly. So I'm proud to be part of it.
Did you just steal my question?
What question?
You'll see. This is odd. I got a question for Mr. Pelly.
You're
How
asking
important is it for developers?
You're asking yourself questions?
I can't make this up. How important is it for developers to have an approachable community development department and city staff in general to assist with either residential or commercial development, and why? Provide examples. You guys know, I've been doing this for 20-some years across the corridor. I can echo everything you said. There are certain communities that we like to do business in. There are some that we would prefer not to do business in. But the one thing about Hiawatha and why it's important is right down to the matter of time kills all deals. In real estate, the bankers here will tell you, you know, they only give us a certain amount of time to get something done. There are city processes in other communities that will drag on for years. You mentioned it, Pat, everybody else, Carrie, the mayor. Everybody's approachable and attainable at the city of Hiawatha. So for us, the thing of importance is time kills all deals, but working through that. Development isn't easy. You guys have such cumbersome codes and things like that to deal with in the world, and navigating that is complicated, but it's always, I feel it's a negotiation. And for developments, especially now, with the cost of borrowing money and equity and things of that nature, it's critical. I mean, it kills deals. The second part of that is when you're doing real estate, you have a limited amount of time of due diligence typically to get that deal done, or the deal doesn't happen with the seller of the land, for example. And again, back to that killing deals. I can tell you horror stories all day. I'm not going to, because I don't have one in Hiawatha. So that tells you something. But we've had many projects and we spent a lot of money chasing them due to the delays or the egos. or the disconnect of the departments or vacuums within the cities, which none have existed here. And in fact, I have been in Hiawatha a couple decades ago where it wasn't so great and leadership wasn't the same. So kudos to that. I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in on that. Mark, if you want to elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, I want to, if I could, add one more public-private project that everybody drives through every day, which is the intersection of Emmons Road and Robbins Road and Center Point Road. When we realigned that intersection, we did it for safety purposes. If you were driving towards City Hall on Robbins Road in an 18-wheeler, there's no way you could make a turn without crossing another lane of travel, and there were accidents. Obviously, the city spent a lot of money to redevelop that corner. As if you've been around a while, you remember the old Oak Brick Trailer Park. The city had an opportunity to buy that. They did, and as an investment for the future. But they knew they had to redo that intersection before we would really start getting development on that corner, and I think we're there. I think we're starting to see. Pat, I know, and his family have spent a lot of money on the corner. That Pat, the one in the back.
Pat.
Yeah. And we're starting to see some more development starting over there. There's a new apartment complex there with, I think there's a commercial on the first level, and I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. And once that gets going, I think that's going to be an attractive corner for more development. The new plaza that's there is terrific. And so, again, another example of the public coming first with the dollars, and then I think the developers will come later.
You know, a lot of time for us, your employers or your businesses, they don't have the time, right? So things like you just mentioned, or the Tower Terrace and the developments that are teed up and shovel ready, if you will, having that is critical. I heard you say earlier, Mayor, 8 ribbon cuttings, but there was certainly more. Oh, yeah. That's amazing, right? So anyway, one last question, Carla, and again, you've probably touched on this, but would like you to elaborate. Can you talk about some of the ways that Kirkwood partners with the business community to help with that workforce gap?
Yes. So definitely want to emphasize again the apprenticeship program. We want to be able to work and support you in setting some of those up. If that seems like a step too far, I had mentioned the Earn and Learn earlier, and where we would come out and could help set up some of those. Like a short 5 to 10 week program where you can bring in individuals that just don't quite have the English skills. And I didn't mention this earlier, but we are definitely seeing, and you've probably heard and see it on the news, many more immigrants and refugees, especially refugees, coming to our region. And gosh, I just heard the numbers yesterday and I don't remember it, but we're getting a new resettlement. We have Catherine McCauley Center that's in our area. They're located in Cedar Rapids, but they resettle within 100 miles. We're getting another organization in the Iowa City area, and they can also resettle within 100 miles, so we'll be in that area too. And they, so far this year, Catherine McCauley has resettled 250 to 300. I can't quite remember the number, so they're resettling quite a few people. I think that's going to be definitely a growing population. We want to help them get plugged in where we can and get the skills they need. And we are a really high spot for secondary migration. So people get resettled they get settled into, say, Houston or Oregon or wherever, and they've come here. We have so many that come here. So I just think that's a real group that we want to be able to help and connect folks with. And then just, doing what we can do. Like I said, through the job fairs, Kirkwood has their own career services, and they are doing career fairs and job fairs and other events. So those are all things that are free and that we want to be able to connect you with. There's probably more, but I'm forgetting. But yeah, summary.
All right. That's all the scripted questions. And I think because this is my last opportunity at the mic, I'll do some stand-up. No. You like that, don't you, Steve? I can't swear or offend people. You told me that. I think Q&A. Dennis?
Yeah, absolutely. Now's an opportunity for the audience members or our guests here tonight to ask any questions of our panel.
Brian raised his hand. Mr. Rostek, I saw that. Hey, pretend we're at an auction.
Yeah, I got to think about this for a second. All right. From a brokerage perspective, how do you see your market positioned with the other markets? How do you compete with those other markets? And what do you tell me that makes me want to bring my clients to Hiawatha?
You want me to take a crack at that? I'll tell you one thing that's really interesting is the relationship with the state. Every project that's done in any of our communities requires a layer of incentives, typically, especially employers or anything that's high quality. That means the TIF that we're spoken of. And Hiawatha will admit they don't have the richest. You know, Cedar Rapids has a menu. You know, you're doing this project, it's this type of incentive. But I was fortunate enough, I don't know how, I got in the bus with you and we went down to the state. They were the only city sitting in a roundtable discussion with the governor, many meetings with IDED, Iowa Economic Development Authority, and Debbie Durham coming and always in that relationship. So for me, it's that relationship with the state that gets those higher level incentives, not guaranteed, but certainly they know their money's gonna be deployed here. And I think the difference is that kind of thing, plus the things I mentioned earlier with the ease of getting your approvals and entitlements. Certainly the corridor will really see a great opportunity when that Tower Terrace interchange connects through to 13. There's a few teeth missing there. But to me, this city's teed up. That gives them the advantage. Their land is ready. It's under development, infrastructure's going in all around if you drive out Tower Terrace. I didn't mean to take that question from you guys. Mayor, anything to add?
No, I mean, you did a good job answering that. We're ready, and you know, the infrastructure is in the ground, and we continue to build on the areas we know that are gonna maybe build up quicker, and you know, the Robbins Road that we're gonna, one of our next bigger projects, it'll just make things, you know, we got another multifamily gonna go up to the north of the one that's next to Legion, that's gonna mimic that same building. And that, you know, that building totally leased out in 45 days.
Man.
It's just unreal. And so we know we need it, and it's gonna continue.
And I heard him say taxes are going down.
Well,
We know there's more questions. You guys didn't even drink enough.
yeah,
CJ.
Yeah. Dad, question for you. Excuse me, thank you. You said that Mercy exceeded its expectations or goals for growth. How and why did that happen?
It didn't exceed mine, actually. But I kind of, just being in the trenches and seeing patients, I kind of knew that what patients wanted. And having visited, I went to Janesville, Wisconsin, and up to Minneapolis to look at other sites and what they built, and both of them had experienced the same problem. So I think it happened because people in the community were craving that service. And I thought it was very important that we build it the way we did and do it differently than what we were doing downtown. And so I think we met the needs of the community, and we're going to continue to do that. So,
How much time did you spend researching what you should do differently?
probably 2 to 3 years. Yeah. And freestanding ERs had been a pretty big thing in Texas, but they did it. It was more kind of a money grab. A lot of physicians could go out and put up their own, and they weren't taking all payers. And we did it for different reasons. So we just felt there was a need for it in the community. So.
and we were very lucky, in my opinion, because Chad Abernathy wanted a toy store for a while. And then that the vision of what's there now, and we were very fortunate that worked out. Been a big asset for Hiawatha, I think.
One other potential challenge, I think, is insurance companies can tend to look at this as expensive care, and they might say, well, this, they should have started with their primary urgent care, but that's just not realistic. People cannot get quick access to what they need. And if they don't, they'll get sicker, and then the care is going to be more expensive. So, so I think this will continue to be a need for the community, and we're probably going to need to expand even further in the future. So.
Awesome.
That's John question.
Yeah, John?
John, you're raising that hand, it looks like.
Actually, I'm just going to make one comment. I'm going to reiterate what, really, I don't think I need this. Okay. I want to reiterate what Chad was talking about, how easy it is to do business here. And Pat Parsley, I don't know if he got his last name out there.
Hi, Pat.
Yep.
There he is hiding back there. But the whole staff out here is so great to work with. It's the preferred area that I'd work in for sure. One sort of amusing thing, I'm working on a project right now, and the company's out of Illinois, suburbs of Chicago, and they'll ask me, well, how long is it going to take to get a sign approval? And I said, I don't know, a couple days. I think it took less than that, actually. But, they're used to 6-9 months on just to get a sign approved on a building. So it's always amusing to talk to people like that from out of state. So keep doing. Bill, just get that Tower Terrace built through over to Highway 13. I do appreciate the fact that, because Chad and I both work in all the communities, really, we need to think regionally.
Right.
What's good for Marion. What they've done downtown is fantastic. Out here, and it's great. Cedar Rapids, we're working on quite a few things also. It's a rising tide for everybody if we all do well. And that Tower Terrace project is really important. It'd be great for the ballpark and a lot of development. So I don't have a question.
Come on,
All right.
Mr.
Yeah.
Neighbor.
There you
Neighbor Farmer State Bank, and we've been in this town since George Bowler, and Center Point Road was a mud road. And so consequently, we've been here a while. But having said that, this guy's a dear friend. He's done a great job here in Hiawatha, and those supporting him. And look at that report. Fantastic. All the things that are going on here. And we're so blessed to be a part of it. And he's a good friend.
Thank you, Ken.
He said he's got a couple more terms left in him, right before.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Chad, I've got a quick comment. One of the questions was how does it help Hiawatha to develop for a place to both work and live? We are fortunate to have a great public service or public safety group of folks between our fire department, our ambulance service, and of course the police department. And other than the attorney's invoice that comes in every month, what do you think is the most expensive thing that comes out of our city budget?
Food.
After food, it's public safety.
Yeah.
We have, Chief Cam, how many officers do we have? 16 full-time officers. And is Matt here?
No, he went on a call.
He had a call. There you go.
Yeah.
We have a huge volunteer fire department. If you ever get a chance to interact with any of those people, you will find that their personalities mirror what goes on at City Hall. They're great people. If we don't have a safe community, if we don't have public safety, ambulance service, fire, police, you can't attract talent to move to Hiawatha. Did I do something?
I don't know. I feel like you were pointing at me interacting
Yeah, I
with
think
those
it might have been you.
police.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And the other comment I would have too is, we talked about some of the mixed use coming in town and how quickly it gets filled up. If you've been in the Northwest Territory, you notice how quickly those houses go up and they're sold like this. And I will never forget being at a P&Z meeting one time when a developer came in and said, Hiawatha's starter home is $350 for a starter home. And at that time, there was one house on the market on the MLS, and it started with a 7. And so that's the next critical thing, and we're doing that in Hiawatha, I think, is developing residential, hopefully some affordable housing, because if we can get people in the city to live in the city, it makes it easier for all of us employers to get that talent to come and work for us. And I think that's an ongoing challenge. But I think Hiawatha is doing it at the right pace.
That's it? That's all you guys got? Dennis?
Awesome. I think before we move on, we should have the mayor give the presentation for the Fay Clark Award.
Absolutely.
This will be the second recipient of the Honorary Fay Clark Award. And Mayor Bennett notified the recipient earlier this week. We have a video of that. We'll go ahead and play that now.
All right, Dick, here's, I don't know if you know what this is about, but we have got a nomination for the Fay Clark Award, and your name was chosen, and we're all excited about it. And it's just another day that we're going to thank you again for all the things you've done for the city of Hiawatha. And I'm going to have Carrie actually read the nominations so you can hear the neat things that they said about you.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Phil.
Yes. This person wholeheartedly nominated Dick for his exceptional contributions as a business visionary and dedicated community leader. With over 30 years of entrepreneurial success, he exemplifies unwavering commitment to producing top-tier products and fostering strong client relationships. His 21-year tenure as a Hiawatha council member underscores his remarkable dedication to community growth, consistently advocating for new businesses to flourish. Dick's visionary leadership and steadfast support have left a mark, making him an invaluable asset to any endeavor he undertakes. He has truly shown his generosity within our community. His unwavering dedication played a crucial role in transforming the Hiawatha Library into the splendid facility we have today. Additionally, he spearheaded the effort to establish a second fire station, ensuring the safety and well-being of every resident. Beyond his achievements, Dick's remarkable kindness and empathy shine through, making him a truly exceptional individual in my eyes. Recently, Dick joined forces with 2 community members, city leaders, and library staff to secure funds and lead the initiative in bringing Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to Hiawatha. Dick took charge of contacting potential contributors and successfully created a founders club that raised more than $25,000, ensuring the program will become a reality. This instance highlights Dick's focus on seeking partnerships that make Hiawatha the best place to live, work, and play.
Did you hear all that, Dick?
I heard it all, and I don't know what to say. There's a little bit of water coming into my eyes, and I'm not sure what that's all about. But
well, and you know, we all know that this is exactly what you've been a part of the community, and you know, you've also in between doing all that work for the community, you also operated a business that was very successful. And you know, with your fire and safety business and what you've done for this area, I don't know how you actually put that many hours in or was awake that many hours to control all that ability. So my hat's off to you. You've done a great job. And this was obviously our second Fay Clark Award, and you are the perfect recipient.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
Bill, first of all, thank you very much. And as you said in the beginning, first and foremost, I'm actually very surprised to be the recipient of this award. In fact, quite honestly, I'm stunned. It definitely was not on my radar. So I have to, I know there was a selection committee, and I have to extend my gratitude to the committee for honoring me with this award. And I'm certain there were other nominees that were very deserving of the award.
Yes.
So I really do appreciate it. However, I really don't believe there are any solo acts in city government.
No.
I sincerely share this award with the cast of incredibly dedicated mayors, city council members, city managers, and city staff members who I was blessed to serve with for, gosh, over 20 years. Hard to believe the time went by so fast. But you know what it's all about, and you and Dennis and Carrie and the whole Hiawatha team just have an incredibly unwavering commitment to collaboration. So much has been accomplished by many for the greater good of Hiawatha during the years that I served as a Hiawatha public servant. However, I know there's so many things on the table right now. Dennis has shared some of those things. And I firmly believe that the best is yet to come. I really think that Hiawatha's future couldn't be any brighter. And in fact, you probably should keep the sunglasses handy and stay the course. So I really do thank you again for this award. Know that it is very, very, very much appreciated. Even though I'm accepting it 1,800 miles away, I truly feel that I'm blessed to receive this award. So I thank you all. Thank you very, very much.
Well, even though you're 2,300 miles or 1,800 miles away, we sure miss you, and we'll continue to think about all the good things that you've done in your many years of assisting Hiawatha in a better place.
Thanks again, Bill. And I really do look forward to receiving the council agenda still.
Yeah.
That helps me keep up. Thank you, Carrie, for doing that. And also, I very much appreciate the newsletters being sent out to me. I read them literally word for word. There's just so many exciting things going on in Hiawatha. And as I said, the future just could not be brighter.
Everything's coming to an end. Thank everybody for coming out, your continued support of this community. Headco, Marty Hager, once again, thank you so much. Hugs, not shrugs, people. Thank you.